the feelings in my body, the anxiety was higher than I thought it could have been or should have been. So I knew that something wasn't quite right.
I was referred to a gynecologist who then done an ultrasound, which said that I have a womb, but it's very small, and that they could only find one ovary, and that the ovary that they found basically didn't have any eggs in it. And that was at 14 years old.
I might go through a really stable patch and everything seems really good and I feel like I've really got this. And then something might happen out of the blue and it feels like it's all coming crashing down again.
I started having really bad bouts of PMT, but worse, and really bad periods of anxiety.
And my boss, who was aged 30, would say at the end of the conference call that we had, conference call, "Don't worry, Janice, I'll explain it to you again afterwards," which did not help at all. Because I'm not stupid, but brain fog does kick in, I think, with menopause.
I do forget, like, it's a case of he'll say what he wants to say and then he'll go, "What were you going to say?" And I'm like, "Don't know, like, it's gone. I have no idea."
I just didn't feel good enough again, and that hadn't been like that for quite a while. And when I look back at that point, I must have been, a few years in.
I almost became like a much smaller version of myself. I lost all my confidence, and standing up in meetings was very, very stressful.
It did definitely contribute in why I left work early.
And it made me pull away from people because I was scared that as soon as they knew that I was unable to have my own biological child because of my premature menopause, that say that then they would then not want to be with me. So yeah, it kind of, in relationships, it was tricky.
We'd been together for about 4 or 5 years at the time, and things, as I say, things were good, but then I got even more anxious about things, and that relationship ended because that was just not nice to be around.
Just the thing of not being able to make love in that way, actual penetration it's quite obsessive sometimes. You have to do other things, which is still lovely, and afterwards you're like, oh wow, that's great, but just to be able to make love like you used to is
The cardiologist said to me, "I wish I could tell you how many menopausal women come and see me because they think they've got heart issues." He said, "And it's palpitations."
I was made to feel as if I was a bit of a hypochondriac because I constantly was at the doctor's with another symptom. But
I felt listened to but not fully heard, because I suppose when you're in that vulnerable condition, you expect people to just inquire a little bit, and there was no inquiry, which looking back I'd have hoped to have got to just uncover really what was underneath, especially a woman of my age at the time.
The day that I was diagnosed, I literally was just told that I was going on HRT to protect my bones from osteoporosis, and that I'd have a monthly bleed so that my womb was working in case I wanted to try IVF egg donation later on down the line, and that literally was it.
He even, like, in an appointment, I'd asked something and he was drawing me a picture of my womb, but he was speaking to my husband about it rather than me, so he was like going, "Oh, your womb," and my husband is now at the point where he has to look down on appointments because otherwise my gynecologist will just speak to him.
Any kind of specialist treatment that I've had to pay to after my surgical menopause to get myself better. In the end, it probably cost me about £1,000, and it will continue to cost me.
I think it is a case of which GP you get to see, really, which shouldn't be the case, should it?
It's only until I actually had someone to listen to me who understands it all started piecing together that all these symptoms that I'd been to the doctors over the years for were not me being a hypochondriac. They were menopausal symptoms all along.
I firmly believe that you get more information from talking to other ladies who are either going through it or who have done. And those years of it being a silent thing, women's problems, not talking about it, it's no good, you know. So